what is up, my BBossBaddies and my Batman fellas? It is your girl Bosana and welcome BBossArmy. So yes, I am back with this texting video. You guys love the texting videos and I promise to give you guys some more. And so this one, I wanted to be more of things that you guys shouldn't do with texting, the things that make you guys step back further and not get closer to meeting her in person or seeing where it could go instead of it just being texting. And maybe you guys are dealing with somebody you've been with for some time. That's fine, but you just have to still be careful because there is things that you shouldn't be doing no matter the situation. Okay, so with that being said, please go ahead and check out my other channels, links down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, and if you do once again want to know more about texting, let me know. I will still keep dropping these types of videos. Okay, so the first thing I want to get into is that trying to continue a conversation or a double texting, ultimately you're gonna get her to run away and not give you that text back already. But I do want to first start off and just say that a lot of times guys feel like double texting or trying to continue the conversation when it's dying down from her end is something that you guys can do to save it. But instead, it makes her just look at you and be like, wow, this guy is really trying to talk to me. So you guys have to really pay attention to when you're sending out these messages, what messages are you really sending without sending a message? You see what I'm saying right there? So when you feel like, okay, you know what, she needs to text me better, or I want her to text me better, so I'm going to do this to get her to text me better. And so you send this message by double texting, or let me give you guys an example. For examples, should I do that throughout the video actually? Maybe, but you guys love the examples. So let's say it's been a long day and she asks you, how's your day going, right? And actually it's been going great. Like you guys are talking back and forth. She's asking you some questions. Towards the end of the day, you notice she's dying down with her conversation. Okay, maybe she might just be seeing somebody, might be seeing somebody tonight, right? So that typically is going to lead her to cutting you off and not wanting to see you for that time being, depending, right? So she has to have her phone off, maybe just not respond to you, or sometimes some girls might just have the DND, do not disturb, yes. So that might just be like, okay, you know what? She might be doing something. Your end will be like, okay, she's doing something. She might just be showering, she might be asleep, right? But this is where a lot of guys just get cut. A lot of girls be like, wow, I can't believe how thirsty and how he's still responding to me. Or they'll just message you like random days when they feel like it. And this is when you guys show this characteristics of being so caring and too invested. Y'all gotta get the guys that literally get these girls to text quicker, want to see them afterwards. They're the ones that are nearly disappearing most of the time through the text, right? And so now when we have you guys trying to grow this interest through text, y'all gotta get, how can you? You can't, because she can't physically see it. So texting, I feel like nowadays is only really good for hiding things and getting to know each other. Obviously the positive stuff, let me start off with that. The positive stuff of getting to know each other, right? And then of course checking up on each other. That's all cool and stuff. But and again, you always want to get it to be in person, always. And then there's a whole lot of stuff. I really want to go back to my example and say this though. After she goes ahead and dry texts you and you feel like, okay, you know what? Let me text her and say, where are you at? What are you doing? Who are you with? Not all those questions, but it could be the way you sent it. It could be 2 messages back to back. It could be in a message of, oh, you know, I was just wondering, what are you up to tonight? That's asking so many different messages, right? And you see, you guys might feel like, well, I'm not showing that I'm a simp like that. Or I thought that's how I'm supposed to communicate. But fellas, the response that she gives you, such as still not responding to you, that's the message that she's sending you, the same way you sent her that message, that you're free, that you're busy, that you're, what did I say? Caring too much and too invested, fellas. Okay, so I want to move on to say the next part. You know, you're gonna keep trying and stuff like that. Just get, if you didn't get that point, she's dealing with somebody else. She might not even be paying attention to you guys, and it happens most times, and you guys still will keep trying. Okay, so I want to move on to say that dragging it instead of just ghosting her, fellas. This is my next real thing that, like, I just don't know why I have not did a whole full video. But the dragging instead of just ghosting. I talked about ghosting, no contact, all those things, right? But here's the thing that I never said with texting. You guys can cut it short and say, let me ghost her. Don't respond, which is technically no contact, but it's more of this shorter period of how some guys have a consistency of being the one that texts back all the time, or texts back quickly, or you know what, even if you do go a few hours, she still knows that at the end of the day you're still gonna text her. So that could just be your reputation. You just have to break out of that reputation a little bit, fellas, not a lot. So once you break out of it, what you're really doing is telling her, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with you. I'm not interested no more. And I'm laughing so hard because I know a lot of you fellas out there, and be honest, you know, you're kind of too simp enough to say that I will do that, and you guys will not do that. You know what I mean? Will not go ahead and leave. You know, you guys will not actually cut her off. You guys will not actually be about what you said you were gonna have for your morals, your expectations, and what you won't tolerate. So ask yourself this, fellas. Am I dealing with a girl that's just never gonna be my real girl? And most times the answer is yes. Next thing you guys can ask yourself, why am I still trying to text her? And sometimes it's just because you like her. She's pretty. But if you never have a solid answer to back up how she did something or held it down, these females know they haven't did that. And so now bringing it back to women, if they know what they're doing, fellas, do you guys, I'm sorry, but you have to know this. Do you not know what you're doing? You have to pay attention to your behavior, and you have to understand that texting leaves you so limited to the point where you can't get out the box so much until you see her. So a lot of times trying to escape out the box, and that's what a lot of fellas are doing. You're escaping out, trying to be like, okay, let me text her faster, or let me text her twice, or let me double text, right? Texting twice. Let me make sure she's good. Are you okay? Or let me call her. And then sometimes some of you fellas be like, okay, I'm not gonna simp over her. I'm not gonna show too much validation. I'm not gonna be lusting over her, right? And so what happens for you fellas, what you guys go and do, you know what I'm gonna say? You guys will go and wait until the next day and still will message her, good morning. Or, hey, I didn't get a text back last night, but how was your night? Fellas, she didn't even message you back the night before. And you're already messaging her probably the third, the fourth time, possibly at this point, trying to still make sure she's okay. Still showing you care too much. Too invested once again. So back to this limit, you guys are trying to escape by trying to take, you can say almost shortcuts. With women, you don't have to try once again. Sometimes with the shortcuts, it's like doing the things that you've been told to do. Whether it's your mother and your sister or your brother or that girlfriend. Hey, maybe just that girl that you dealt with for so long kept asking for the same thing, and you guys probably just started feeling like, okay, well, she's gonna keep asking me for this. Well, am I gonna give it to her? No, right? And then you guys finally crack sometimes. So the limit thing, y'all gotta get that. If you can't get to see her in person, you don't wanna see her. And that's as simple as that. So you wanna never ever try to continue this when you can end it. A lot of the times the guys that, once again, get the girls to text back quicker, get the woman, those type of guys, all they are doing is not tolerating BS. And the BS is the things that the girls will do where they won't message you back, right? And you gotta get that there is no reading between the lines with texting because it's right there. That's like one of the times where you guys don't have to try to read between the lines, because take the actions that they do, the hot and cold, the in and out, one day type of thing, right? All those things that females are already doing, you have little problems that come with texting until you make it complicated, trying to escape once again out of the circle. Okay, so fellas, treat this circle as protection for yourself. Actually, treat it as protection for yourself, because while you're in here trying to escape so you can meet her in person, trying to see Erica, Rebecca, Brittany, Jordan, I don't know who, Alexandra, I don't know, but trying to see her, just treat it like this. You have the lock to this circle. She doesn't. And when you give her the access, is by responding quickly, by always being there. You could also be the guy that she always calls up and always brings her food, always does all these different things for her. You could be that guy, and you don't want to be that guy, of course, right? That's one thing. Next thing that could also happen is that you guys are trying to just beat around the bush. It might not be you're trying to take the shortcut out, but you're trying to beat around the bush. And beating around the bush is almost like you're halfway in and halfway out. You can't do that, okay? So now I just want to wrap up to say with this circle thing. I'm glad I brought up the circle thing. It's been a while since I did my little like circle examples and using my hands like as diagrams. I don't know. But last thing that I do want to say is that this whole thing is supposed to try to tell you that she has no key to you, right? And you guys, when you give her the access, as I told her how you do so, and you guys will know, right? You can see that it's not working, whatever you're probably doing, maybe, or maybe you did in the past. But once you give in the circle to her, she's full on gonna cut you off when she wants to play you and all that stuff. You can always take your key back and take it like this. Once she's gone, you know, the key you don't have to deal with. So that means she's out, whatever. But you can take it back if you're still dealing with her. And the way you guys can go ahead and do that is just by being busy, being on your purpose, and doing those things to stay distracted. So until she sees real value, and maybe it could be growth, right? Maybe you weren't doing the best before. But until she sees what she's really into that makes her want a man or want you, then you gotta ultimately treat this texting thing as just protection. When she sees the full you, she will see the full you. Another thing a lot of fellas will do is send paragraphs after paragraphs. You don't have to do that, fellas. When you're doing that, all you're telling her is that you want her to want to care about you. Why do that when she can care when she wants to? You're going to get her to fake care, and that's the fake care that has a lot of women end up manipulating and using men to the max. You get me? That high pitch was not necessary. My bad. But now, last things. When you keep this circle closed by keeping your key, right? Not texting too quickly. You're chilling. You're on your purpose. Laid back. Doing your thing, not worried about a single thing with her, because you know with women nowadays how it goes. You don't gotta give her all that attention. You don't. She wants it, but when you do give it to her, it's too much. It's like giving, you know, a kid too much candy. You can't. Maybe one treat only. So back to this circle thing. When you stay to yourself, when you don't text her and you stay really on top of your ish, like, you know, the high value men out here do, you will then have her trying to get more out of you. And that's when the woman will cherish the men that they have, which, you know, could be the guy that has other women as well. Who knows? But they cherish that one guy that gives them the hardest time, because that guy doesn't care about the texting. She's not going to get much texting out of him, let alone even a date. So the guys that are over here sparing everything, trying to, there's the guys that don't have no single thing to spare to these women. Okay, you get me? So realistically speaking, you're not putting yourself in the same category as many of these men out here that you guys may feel like you are. So to go ahead and close off with my circle, yes, we're going out strong. I made it kind of like a heart. With my circle, keep your circle to yourself. All this circle, having her in, trying to get her in, involved in your life, this is you. This is all you. Once you decide to let her in, maybe after your life is all put together, maybe it took some growth. Maybe it could be getting your heart, being emotionally too not invested. Does that make sense? Making sure that you're not too emotionally available for her. It could be that for you fellas, but you could make it until you figure out what areas and what you should be working on to go and be a better man, basically for yourself. And I would say ultimately, yeah, to get a woman, but be a good man for that wife material in the future. As long as you're doing that by not forcing texting and making it to be the first thing, making it to be a first thing with her especially, and worrying and making yourself first in your life, all your goals, the accomplishments that you want to accomplish and will accomplish, you most definitely will be good. You won't have no worries, and texting won't be nothing. You will be trying to be like, wow, I'm tired of texting her. You'll get to a point of that because it's like, it's not even worth it after a while, because you realize, well, I wanted this the whole time. But the guys that been getting it the whole time, they see how these women are. Ultimately, you won't even really want her at the end when you see why she even decided to give you the time of the day. And it might just be because you got your shit together, your life together, but fellas, it's still not good because it's really not for you genuinely. It's for what you are, what you got now, and all these things. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. You guys will see me in my next. Bye, guys.